Welcome, ladies and germs, to this episode of the Haz Mat Roundtable 2.0, the only interactive show that's highly contagious to hazmat and science geeks alike, where everyone's infectious and invited to spread their knowledge with close personal contact. I'm Jason Rogers, along with Mike Monaco, Bobby Salveson, and Bob COVID Nano. For the next 20 minutes, we will be the vector to patient zero with our very own PP&E. Today's roundtable discussion is brought to you by ResponderTraining.com. Reach out to Responder Training at 765-524-4848. That's ResponderTraining.com.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow is all I can say. Well done.
You just made me touch my face because I was crying laughing. That was so funny.
My favorite was the Bob COVID Nano.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That was good.
You're welcome.
I like that one. That was good.
Thank you very much.
Oh, boy. Good to be here. Anybody have the sniffles right now? Nothing?
No, I'm feeling good. No.
Excellent. That's good.
Yeah.
Also brought to you by Mike's Mask Shop. $40 each. Drop me an email.
Did you see the guy in Brooklyn? There was a guy in Brooklyn that was hoarding. So the FBI went to his house, and he had like 8 pallets of N95 masks, and he was selling them. He sold to some doctor in Jersey 1,000 masks for $12,000, which is a 700% upgrade, and they busted him. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So
Awesome.
good for him.
I think the rule is you can't charge more than 10% after an emergency happens. So what you have to do is really pay attention, and before the emergency, charge a ridiculous amount of money, and then you can tack on 8% to that.
Interesting.
And then you're still like you're still good. You're not scalping because you charge that amount before the emergency.
Interesting.
Yeah, very nice.
Interesting.
Very nice.
That is oh, look at that. It looks like, I don't know how the hell I did it, but it looks like the comments are now coming up on the feed. All right, you're welcome. I don't know how I did that.
You're welcome.
Wow. That was
All
interesting.
right.
Nick Branches wrote something that came up on the screen. I just noticed that. So, good stuff. Anyway, I think everybody knows. Good.
Yeah. I got a quick question for Jason because I know he hasn't been around for the past couple episodes, and I wanted to kind of catch up because I know that his new job has completely disconnected him from what's going on in the world. I don't. Do you even know what's going on? Like, do you have your finger on the pulse?
There's something going on?
I was getting ready to say somebody check his pulse.
I push a lot of paper, you know. It's heavy. It's real heavy lifting.
How is it in the field that you're now in? Like, what the hell is going on by you?
We're busy.
Yeah.
We're busy. I mean, there's obviously, you know, you guys are probably the hub and epicenter of illness and misery and mayhem, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting feed. They took, and it was a private third-party provider from, and I think they were taking app information, and they took a section of like Fort Myers Beach or Fort Lauderdale or something, and they took like a mile-long stretch of beach from 3 weeks ago, and then they tracked those cell phone towers to see where they went through the country just from like that week, and they went everywhere. I mean, It's amazing.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Did you see that? It's kind of cool.
There was
did not see that.
Yeah, there was an interesting. They're doing interesting things with the cell phones. There was, I guess, one of the Fitbits, or I don't know if it's Fitbit or one of the wearers, the watch. You know, the obviously I'm fat, so I don't wear those things. They can track your temperature. So there is tremendous amount of real-time temperature data out there.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of like this happened a couple of years ago. But remember, there's an app called Strava that all the runners use, and what it does is it basically gives you where you run, and then it makes a heat map showing the most popular things or the hottest roads to do. Well, this is a great idea, but the problem is when you're in Afghanistan and you're running inside the base, and then you can log into the Strava and I can see the entire base's street map. Like that's called OPSEC, operational security. I think that's called.
Yeah, yeah. That's like, oops, didn't think that one through.
I'm looking.
Do you guys TikTok? I mean, that's the new thing.
I my kids tic-tac. I don't know. Is that the same thing?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not going to do it. You know.
Absolutely, baby. 100%. We're close to opening up a TikTok for Haz Mat guys, and it's pretty much everything in PPE.
I have some not safe for work videos for you.
Oh.
We're gonna try to mimic all the good TikToks in like a Trelleborg.
Well, you know, I mean, everybody's talking about it, and I don't think we have to really talk all that much about the corona thing that's going on. I mean, I know where we are. You know what's a weird thing I noticed is like everybody's out for a walk.
Yeah.
Like
More
it's
people are out for a
incredible.
walk, riding their bike.
Yeah,
Whatever.
there's tons of people out for walks or bicycle rides, running, whatever it might be. It's like holy crap, man! There's which is a positive. I'm going to say, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I don't know.
That's that exercise thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm out. Too much.
So, what else?
You got some news or something, don't you?
Yeah. All right. So
I want to see if anybody else had anything before.
well, I will say this. I'm gonna give props. One of our listeners sent us this patch. Let me see if I can bring it in here. Can you see that?
No.
No, you're tiny. Tiny head.
It says Operation Hawaiian Clusterfuck. And I gotta say, this is one of my favorite patches. And for the record, I am drinking out of my Haz Mat guys. I make Haz Mat sexy cup. It's keeps everything very cold.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm drinking out of my keeps everything very hot cup.
Oh,
there you go.
You lucky dog, you. So, Mike, should I start it out? I'll just let the cat out of the bag. All right, so
Go with the urgent, Bobby. Go with the urgent.
Go with the urgent.
Go with the urgent.
So everybody had a problem or has a problem currently right now with training, right? Everybody is struggling, municipalities, localities, regionals, federal, whatever it is, with giving our reoccurring Haz Mat training. And I know everybody's like, well, we just do something in-house. But the problem is you can't really get together. So about, 4 or 5, 6, 7 months ago, we've been trying to build a online university, like basically a school. And it really kind of kicked in with us a couple of days ago to kind of start putting the polish on the pig, if you could. Put a little shine on the sneaker. And we are going fully live tonight with a couple of courses. So, what do you think of that?
What's the name?
You'll be able to get your PhD from Haz Mat Guys University.
ASAP.
ASAP with a PhD. I like it.
I like it.
You'll be a VIP, I promise you that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, online learning blows, and we really have some really interesting ideas to make it not suck, and very interactive and really, really cool.
Yeah.
So we are we're starting off now. We opened everything up now so that because so many people are just dying for training, and the really, really good stuff is on its way.
Well, listen, oh, it is stuck on you.
I told you.
Oh, there we go. We fixed it. It was stuck on. Well, we had to put the handsome guy up front. So,
When does he get here?
It is not. Listen, with the official release is probably about 20 minutes after the show is over. But if you guys want to head on over to the hazmatguys.com, look at the top, you see courses, and then you can pick your course, you pay your VIG, and we are having some commercials and stuff like that. But this is like the cheap season, we'll say. We're trying it out, we're getting everything together, but we're probably going to be adding at least one or two courses from heavy hitters from across the country, probably per day. And we're trying to, figure things out like everybody else is. But there was no reason to hold this thing back, even though it is not as pretty as I really want it. Like we have some awesome, like what they call skins, like that make it look awesome. But we just didn't get to that point yet. So if you don't mind something that doesn't look totally as handsome as Jason is on that that thing up there, then by all means, the content's there, everything's there, and you get a certificate for 4 hours of continuing education. And there is many more things that are coming to us. It is going to be coming out hot for about the next month, I would say.
That is a great venue.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Don't do legitimate questions.
Yeah.
Legitimate, it's just one. You pay your money,
Yes.
don't pass the quiz. Bobby, what happens?
So if you pay your money and you don't pass the quiz, for right now, because it's an open thing, that basically it will let you take the quiz over and over and over for right now. Right? So if you, a County X says no, they get 3 shots, and if they want the 4th, they have to go to the manager and get a code, then we can accommodate that. So, like, this is a university. Like, the college that I'm going back to school for, this is the platform they use, and it is incredibly robust. So there was a whole bunch of different prepackaged ways of doing it, and they all kind of sucked. So we just went to the beginning and made a complete college.
Completely robust, but yet simple enough to make courses with crayons. I love it.
Oh, yeah, man. But
Funny you mentioned courses with crayons.
there are so many things we have in our minds about how to do things different than the way they've been done. Like, we're pretty sure we can, I don't want to give too much up, but I'm pretty sure that we can do complete courses, even portions that you would say, you can't do that. We'll do it. There are things in the mix that are in progress right now that will, I'm saying it, and it's easy to say it, but I'm going to say will change the face of hazmat in this class. Not the classes that are up, but the ones that we're making right now.
I will say that just having a platform or an opportunity, and not just because you guys are my friends, even though I pay you to be my friends.
Yeah, the checks do.
Checks in the mail, right?
The price has been going down. So
this is cutting edge stuff here because, granted, a lot of fire departments are locked down and people aren't, able to travel and stuff like that, and you still got to maintain your certifications. You still got to get your CEUs and whatnot. And I think this is a great thing. I'm glad you guys are doing it for helping out the first responder community, plus all the other hazmat nerds like us out.
Yeah. So right now we got two classes up. One is going to be a decontamination module that is going to give you 4 CEUs. In addition to it, I think it has an oxidizer component just as a bonus material. But you will be able to prove that you did all your stuff, and even if you pay for this out of pocket, I talked to a whole bunch of administrators and everything like that. If you bring them the completion and you show them the competencies that were achieved, they'll reimburse you from your job. So I don't know what it is in your house, but nonetheless, if these things are reasonably priced as it is, but you're getting, I think, a pretty good value for 4 hours, and you can do this. We haven't quite tried this out, kinda, but I took an entire course on the treadmill. So you don't even have to be at a computer. You can do portions of it in the car. It's going to change some stuff around. So yeah,
I got a question on the YouTubes.
Yes, Nick Brandt, will the training be available for individuals or agencies? It is either or. So you with the individuals, we have a option where, like, fine, Nick wants to take get 5 classes, we'll say. So you pick 5 different topics. Whereas XYZ Fire Department wants one topic 500 times. Well, we have pricing for that as well. So whatever you want to do, for example, when you go to the website and you check it out, we have one entity that wanted a specific set of things, and we custom built the course around them using their PowerPoints, injecting their stuff, some of their questions. So I think we can make anybody's dream come true, I would say.
Yeah, it's from a fire department point of view, it's phenomenal because you can now use this to augment your own training, right? So there's a couple, there'll be hours that guys can do on their own time, whether you give them a year to do it, a month to do it, a week to do it. There is complete interaction with the instructors, so people will have constant access to whoever it is that they're watching. Your hands-on stuff can still be done within your department, and proper competencies will be able to be checked and done in the comfort of whatever setting you desire.
And this isn't really the intent, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, even though it is good for us and everything like that. But yes, I'm sorry, On Guard demo, and which is, I saw Rob Herrigan. You can step away, you can come back. And I think the only thing you can't do is you can't step away from a quiz. I think then it kind of deletes the quiz, and you got to start the quiz from the beginning. But you can start and stop any way you want in the middle. But one thing that I will say is that we are accepting finished programs. Like, so if you got a great shtick, like Bob Kosh, you got a great shtick on topic ABC. Fine, you give it to me. I'll put it on the platform, and we'll sell it for you so people can get that content. Because at a certain point, me and Mike are big on the all ships rise with the tide. If we're making everybody get better because we have just that much more content, by all means, throw it in there and contact us. If you got something maybe you want to create, we'll help you create it. So that everybody can consume it.
We wanted this to be a one-stop shop for all those high caliber lectures and instructors and experts that are out there. I'm going to drop a name right now. I'll drop Paul Rogers' name. He's in the process of developing a whole list of battery and power storage and ESS type classes. And so now you have access to one of the experts in the field to be able to train your members, not in this trickle down. You send 1 or 2 guys to a conference, they come back and they try to implement what they thought. It's direct right from the horse's mouth, and you don't get better than that.
Well, you know what something we're considering is doing. I don't want to say, happy hours. This is something that's so funny. This kind of off this topic, but I was absolutely intrigued when my wife says, "Yeah, we're having a virtual happy hour." I go, "What the hell is that?" She goes, "Yeah, everybody's just getting on FaceTime or Zoom, and we're all just going to be drinking together." I'm like, that is so friggin' funny. So I actually want to get some. Hey, shoot it with Todd Burton. You get an hour and a half with Todd to ask him any question you want about clandestine labs and the like of that. That's valuable. I think that's something that people will be like, you know what? I'll throw $5 on the table for that thing. For Todd's time, let's sit down and do it. I think it's a great idea.
And at the end of Todd's time, he sends you a huge metal American flag.
Yeah, free of charge.
Is he going to do a Zoom on Metalworks? Because that's the class I really want to take.
I know, right?
That's awesome.
What can Todd not do is the question.
He can't fail. He can't fail. That's what he can't do.
He is the Wikipedia of Haz Mat for sure.
Gary's telling him that he's only worth $4.99. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff that we're watching where things are going, and we have tons of ideas, tons of people that are are collaborating with us currently, and they've been doing it for a while. So it's just a matter of us polishing their content a little bit more to get to the standards that we wanted. We wanted like a high level of standards for everything that comes out, and then we'll just put it up. So I would keep checking out the hazmatguys.com, and you go up to the courses on the top banner, and you go in there, and you can just flip through the different courses. Right now, there's propane and decon, which will give you 4 hours, and that's it. There's other stuff that's coming, so keep checking back.
Awesome.
I got a thought outside of everything that we're just talking about, very much hazmat related. In the wake of pretty much the world shutting down, is anybody seeing accidents or chemical runaways or anything in industry because there is just a lack of personnel, a lack of support personnel to keep processes going, and therefore chemicals are either reacting or things aren't happening properly because there is just a lack of key people? Is any of this happening across the country? If so, I would absolutely love to hear it. Please drop me an email at mike@hazmatguys, because this is not something we see that often, except for major disasters in small locations, right? Like you had, Bob, you had that oxidizer explosion in Houston when you were down there.
Yeah.
Are there other things like that due to a lack of manpower, things are just cycling out of control?
I'm going to say, from my point of view, I'm going to say that statistically, a lot of my stuff was transport problems, and because
Right.
nobody's on the road, and I mean, it's incredible.
Nobody.
It usually takes me, now this is New York City, so you got to remember that. It usually takes me in the morning to get to work about an hour and a half. Right.
And he lives 5 minutes from the firehouse.
Yeah, I live a half a mile. No, I live about 22 miles from the firehouse. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to the city. And the other morning I left, not an absurd early time, but I was there in 28 minutes.
Wow.
And I wasn't speeding before somebody goes in there. What are you doing, 140 miles an hour? No, it was not. HTOX mixing, cleaning out sheds while people are at home. Yeah, you know what? That's, a lot of people are doing spring cleaning.
Yeah.
I will say that is up. I mean, a lot of people are doing little construction products. They're doing cleaning out the shed and those old organophosphates and pesticides and etc.
Well, I'm glad sorry, Mike. I'm glad there's been out there in our groups on what not to mix for disinfectants and stuff like that. But I don't know how much of that has really made it out to the public. We all know because we're hazmat guys, and in our little groups is out there, but I don't know that there's been don't mix this with this, so on and so forth. And I'm wondering if there's more home related hazmat incidents from mixtures of stuff they shouldn't be mixing that hasn't made it to us yet.
That's kind of important for us to know, right? Because so if I have a common list, I know that list went out, right? It was like, don't mix ammonia and bleach, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
If we have, knowing that people are doing this, if we have a list, like if you were to go to Chemical Companion and take a look at the mixture stuff on Chemical Companion and look at the byproducts, then you could almost pre-plan a response in which you turn around and you say, oh, these are the chemicals that were mixed. This is how I identify the byproduct, right? Is it going to pick up on my PAD? Does it have a cross sensitivity on one of my electrochemical sensors? Does it have an LEL? Can I pick it up with, in small amounts on my metal oxide detector? What's going to pick it up? How is it going to pick it up? Where is it going to go? So if I can have an idea, knowing that people are doing all these cleanings and these sheds and they're mixing chemicals, what do I do with the chemicals that are mixed? What can I do with the byproducts? Where do I put this stuff? Can I overpack it? Can I not overpack it? These are the types of the discussions that really should be happening amongst the teams to say, hey, listen, we have this, and this was the outcome, this is what we did, and this is how we solved it. So that's a great, thought process of, hey, people are starting to throw out chemicals, they're being mixed, they're being in the back of the garbage trucks. Some things give off like really nasty stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a good point too. To, get your game plan now, not try to figure it out 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So where would you I mean, I know that I use the chemical companion to look at mixtures and stuff like that. Do you all have your favorite resources you run to when you're dealing with chemical reactions and byproducts?
You're talking about just with common mixtures?
Yeah, with common mixtures. Yeah, not like a terrorist attack type crap.
Okay.
Just like, Joe Schmo out in the backyard trying to throw stuff away.
I'll comment first. When I'm on the street, it's Cameo and Wiser. When I have a tablet or a laptop, it is ERDSS, Chemical Companion. They just do not have an app for the Android phone yet, but I'm eagerly awaiting that. When that happens, the lid's off, because I cannot wait for them to scale that thing to a phone, because usability is going to go through the roof. It's
a great app.
It is by far the problem, and I listen. I know Dr. Baxter's watching right now, but I will say, I don't understand how they're going to do it. That's the problem, is because there is so much capability on the laptop. How the hell are you going to put it on a 4-inch screen? There's no way to do it. And so,
you'd be amazed what you can do with 4 inches.
You beat me to it.
I wouldn't know. Tell me about it, Mike. I don't know all about that thing.
I just couldn't help it.
Oh, there we go.
That took 27 minutes to go right into the gutter.
That's a record. That's a record.
That is a record.
And I wasn't even in the shower.
This time.
Yeah, so a lot of guys are saying Wiser Chemical Companion with dumping Peaks. Dude, Peaks has anybody used Peaks in forever? Like,
no.
That was I remember that being so expensive. It was like thousands and thousands of dollars a quarter. You had to put a new CD in there.
Yeah.
Oh, and the day you went over, it like canceled you were out on the road, and they're like, you have to put in a new CD, and you're like, what the hell?
Where's
Like,
the
seriously?
CD? Meanwhile, you had all the CDs under the table to take the wobble out of it, right?
right. Oh. They're using it with a BB gun.
I mean, there's no real other stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, those two you mentioned, Wiser and Chemical Companion, are the main two, for me anyway, or for us. So,
you know what, Jay? Do you guys have anything that's more of an EMS-based one?
Not for mixtures. I mean, Cameo's kind of the go-to.
Yeah.
It's the one I'm actually going to have to look at my phone here real quick.
I like your hat.
Thanks.
Maker's Mark. That's good stuff.
Maker's Mark. Yeah, Wiser.
That's a cute starter, Bourbon.
Chem Safety. I mean, yeah, there's a couple. Depending on, like, you can go to if you're looking for PPE apps too to deal with what you're going. I mean, they've got those quick reference. But yeah, I mean, I think probably Wiser is the go-to EMS app.
Yeah, because of the chem, where you can filter based on symptomology and stuff like that. That is awesome.
Signs and symptoms, and you can do simple math.
Yeah. And something too, just to throw on the old lieutenant training hat on for a second, guys. When you have these apps, they're really cool on your phone, but if you don't practice with them, when you're sitting around the firehouse at the kitchen table in the morning at shift change or lunch, just throw a chemical out there and have the guys run through the apps a couple times, because if you don't work your way through it, you're going to forget some of the little tricks to get to different places. It takes 5 minutes. Run a quick drill on it.
I love that.
And one more resource.
Yeah.
I never thought I would use them, but years ago I used it and I was so impressed with it. It was phenomenal. Soundtrack.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
The app.
Yeah. No,
the phone number.
Oh, the phone number. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna throw this in out there because I throw it in every class. So I'll get a. What's the number for Chemtrack?
1-800-Chemtrack.
Right. So for those of you that are still listening, do not call 1-800-Chemtrack. It is not. That is a porno line. It is actually like what 424-9300 or something like that, or 24, whatever the hell it is. But 1-800-ChemTrack is a porn line. So every time I do a class and I go watch, and as soon as I call it, they're like, Bobby. I'm like, oh no, it's not me. Yeah. So they know me.
If you're ever at a conference, the ChemTrack woman, that's how she gets you to listen to her spiel. Because she's like, what's the number for ChemTrack? And everyone's like, 1-800-ChemTrack. And she's like, no, porno line. And you're like, all right,
damn it,
porn.
You got me.
As everybody saves that in the phone.
Todd says he's calling right now. Tell him it's Bobby. Tell him Bobby said hi. That's funny.
Please.
All right, boys, we're going to have to wrap it up. Thanks
right.
for taking a few minutes at the table today. Be sure and wash your hands after this show. This show is a Haz Mat Guys production. Today's show was brought to you by Responder Training. That's respondertraining.com. Also, Intercontinental Fire Training Academy, dedicated to help students advance their careers by providing emergency rescue education. That's ICFT.academy. Northeast Hazmat, where you can find hazmat equipment that makes annoying and complicated hazmat handling jobs fast and easy. That's northeasthazmat.com. K&R Plaques, awards of distinction for first responders and everyday germs like you and me. That's knrplaques.com. And finally, our keynote speaker, Hazmat 101 consultants, from business consulting to custom lectures and classes. Hazmat 101 consultants can answer the call. Guys, we'll see you next Tuesday, right?
See you next Tuesday. Well, see you double next Tuesday. Yeah, the double next Tuesday. That's
yeah.